Amanda's House is a sober living for women and their children here in Green Bay. We have capacity for 14 people, that includes children, and we have 6 bedrooms. To live here at Amanda's House, you have to obviously be in recovery, but you also have to work or volunteer 20 hours a week. You have to do any required counseling outside. If you're in treatment court, they have a lot of qualifications that they have to do. So to balance all of that and have your kids, especially when you don't have transportation, you have to bring the kids on the bus, and the bus line would need to work out with your schedule. There's a lot of things that they have to juggle.
We have a wide range of recovery meetings, 12-step mindfulness, things like that, to help the girls in their spirituality and just growing in recovery. We also offer classes like budgeting. Communication is a big one right now, just to learn the life skills needed to continue on their journey and to continue to be as successful as they can. And my favorite is sewing. That's been a popular one with the girls lately, and just to see like a old art coming back, you know, and seeing the girls be able to use that in their everyday lives and see the joy that comes with them sewing.
When we opened the house and started the application process, it was pretty alarming to see how big the wait list was already.
So we opened on March 16th of 2022, and by March 19th of 2022 we had a wait list. We've been full since the 3rd day we opened. We consistently over the last year have had 50 women on our wait list. Currently it's a little more than that, but to me that shows the need in the community, that we need more housing for women and their children, and eventually men and their children.
It kind of takes you back for a minute. It's like, wow, there's that big of a need right here in this community that we live in, because I think a lot of times we can be a little bit naive and think, well, that's not going to happen to me, that's not going to happen to my family, or that doesn't happen to families like ours. A drug addiction, mental health disorders, etc. It's not going to discriminate based on who you are, you know, what you might do for a living, etc. It can easily be someone in your household.
Amanda is my daughter. She struggled with addiction for over 10 years, and during this time we found that there was a need for more sober living, especially sober living where the kids could live with their moms. We saw too many times that women were leaving sober living too early because they wanted to reunite with their children, and then they weren't ready, they relapsed, or the cycle started all over again.
I mean, I experienced addiction at a young age. The marijuana and stuff, I was young. I was like 13. When I was 20, I started using harder drugs. My biggest thing was when my sister killed herself. That was my my breaking point, you know.
I was sober for 3 years. What I call it, I stepped into a slippery spot, and boom, I went right back to being, you know, drinking and using worse than I ever was, you know. And it just became progressing after the loss of my 3 children. My 3 children, that's what really threw me for a loop. I tried to commit suicide several times. I shouldn't say several, multiple times, you know, of losing them. And then the last time when I lost my mother just a year and a half ago, that's what really pushed me into the door of the rehab, and then working myself to here, you know, to progress, to go back out into the community, you know, because it is helpful here. Don't get me wrong, sometimes it is scary out there, but you just gotta be strong. You gotta be strong for you. And that's what I am. I'm strong for me.
We have staff that help support them when they're having a rough day.
I'm in recovery, so I can really relate to the girls. I share in their joy when they're going through things. I can feel with their emotions when they're going through, negative things in life. But being able to be there for them, be a support system for them, and knowing that there's always hope on the other side, to always get through every situation.
And I started going to like the groups we have here, like the communication. I did a sewing class, and I've just, I don't know, connected with some of the females here. There's a couple of them I connect with, especially the kids. I like that the kids, the kids are allowed here. So, I mean, we're all going through it, and I think all of us are really supportive in here. When someone's having a bad day, it's, the other people are there to talk. Anybody else in here, I can tell them how I feel, and they know exactly where I'm coming from. I think it's just being an addict, you just know how other addicts feel.
I walked through the doors of Oneida Behavioral Health. I was scared at first, but I know what I needed. I needed help. I needed to get back on my feet where I was, prior to a lot of trauma and a lot of loss in my life. They sent me to a therapist, a very good one, and then they sent me to a treatment facility, and I preferred all women. If I didn't have Amanda's house, I believe I would still be out there using, out there being homeless. Just transitioning into Amanda's house, it changed a lot for me. Paula and the staff here are so wonderful. They are so helping. They are just love their ladies and the children that they get through here. It's just, it has helped me a lot. I mean, if it wasn't for this place, I don't know where I would be. I would be out on the streets, or I would be gone.
The Brown County area has a large homeless population. It's over doubled in the last couple of years since COVID. A lot of the people that are homeless have drug and alcohol addiction. Here in Green Bay, we have a couple shelters. We have what's called a safe park, which people that are living in their cars, they can park at the safe park. There are case managers out there. But as for sober living for women and their children in this general area, we're it. Our 5-year goal is to be able to move into a bigger building, be able to at least double our capacity, to get that waiting list down a little bit. We want to help as many people as we can, and then once we get that goal met, then the next goal would be to open a house for men and their children, because there are a lot of men that have custody of their children that needs support just like women do. The smaller donations that we receive, those help us keep the doors open and the lights on. The larger donations that we're looking for would be so we would be able to put a down payment on a bigger building or rent a bigger building.